year spent part of our summer working at a nonprofit, doing work in the areas that we have identified as important to us. This summer, I interned with the Nantucket Boys and Girls Club as a mentor, where I had the chance to be a leader of a large group of kids from all different backgrounds and advise them through life in a way that will make the world a more positive place for them.
Most of us learned about the MillbrookEngage program at last year's MillbrookEngage Summer Intern Chapel Talk, when we sat where you were sitting. I worked for the Trevor Zoo this summer, where I wanted to explore my passion for animals and the science behind them. Claire?
Hi everyone, I'm Claire Reed. I'm a sixth former, and this summer I worked at the Poughkeepsie Farm Project on Vassar Farms, where I worked with food justice and surrounding my community.
Hi guys, I'm Drew Moriarty. I'm a sixth former. I worked at the Carey Institute for Ecosystem Studies, where I was a research assistant under Dr. Stuart Finley.
Hi everyone, I'm Helena Paulin. I'm a sixth former, and and I worked at St. Peter's University's hospital this summer.
In a few minutes, we will run a short video highlighting our experiences, but before we get to that, we would like to introduce you to Mr. Herb Schultz from the class of 1963. Mr. Schultz is the founder of the MillbrookEngage Summer Internship Program, and we would like to invite him to the stage for some brief comments.
Thanks very much, Matt. It's really a pleasure to be back here at Millbrook. It was 55 years ago that I graduated in 1963, and a few things have changed since then. Back then we had about 150 all-male students. That's changed in size and dimension to the better. The facilities are incredible. This used to be the gymnasium that we played basketball in, believe it or not. But in any case, there have been a lot of changes. However, one of the things that hasn't changed is the community service program, which Mr. Pulling, the founding headmaster, established as one of the pillars of Millbrook School and its values. And it's wonderful that an extension now of the community service program in the form of MillbrookEngage has begun. This is the third year. And it's really an opportunity and a desire to expand community service beyond just the Millbrook community itself. And you'll be hearing from some of the interns this past summer that have engaged in the program. There are a few perspectives, I think, that MillbrookEngage brings to bear. First, from the students' viewpoint, each of the students had the opportunity to work at a not-for-profit and experience what it is to be involved with different areas of not-for-profit world. The not-for-profits, from their end, get the benefit of a Millbrook student free of charge for them, and they each, I'm sure, have contributed positively to the not-for-profit's mission. And thirdly, the Millbrook School itself, always looking for ways to differentiate our school from other schools, and one of the ways is MillbrookEngage. I don't think too many other schools have a internship program such as the one that we are newly involved with. So we're pleased on all three fronts. I just want to thank the school for embracing the program, Mr. Casertano, and in particular, I really want to highlight Ms. Vanacek running the program. It may seem like it's simple, but it's not. There are a lot of elements in working with the not-for-profits, the students, and so forth, and she's done a phenomenal job. I'd like to give her a round of applause. Who was one class ahead of me at Millbrook. We're the old guard here tonight. But anyhow, it's a pleasure to be here, and now we'll continue with the program. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Schultz. Please run the video.
Millbrook School Internship Program is an opportunity for rising sixth formers to work for not-for-profits that will not only help them feel fulfilled and satisfied and learn in the process, but will also help the not-for-profit be benefited by the service of a Millbrook student.
MillbrookEngage is a win-win-win.
It's a great opportunity for us running a nonprofit to have help. It's great to have it be a program that benefits Millbrook. It's great to have it be a program that benefits the students.
It has had a tremendous impact on our ability to provide good quality service to the individuals we serve.
I like to know that I'm helping somebody, making a difference in their lives.
I realized how important it was for me to kind of get out of my comfort zone at Millbrook and to meet new people and also to understand more about my community.
I think our purpose in life is very much in keeping with one of the foundational principles of Millbrook School, which is the community service.
It takes the mission that we live here and it allows our students to explore it and express it in communities around the country and in some cases around the world.
I felt that I was able to mold my own experience from the internship.
I really had to work on my own, work through the challenges, and of course I had my mentor to fall back on, but he really pushed me.
Being a part of this internship helped me experience some of the work environment that I'll be a part of in the future.
It's the real world, and it gives you a sense of place and what's to come.
When I'm older, I want to be a teacher. So working at this Boys and Girls Club really helped me realize that that's definitely what I want to do.
Having them learn early on that they like it, they have a talent for it, they have an aptitude, they have that spark for doing it. You want them to learn that sooner rather than later as they prepare for their careers.
I've always known that I wanted to do something in the zoo world or work with animals in general. This internship kind of opened my eyes about the fact that I really enjoyed engaging with the public.
This is exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to be on a farm where they strictly wanted to educate people and they strictly wanted to embody basically non-civi sed cunctus.
It's a great experience not only to be able to experience something that you're passionate about, but to learn to be able to give back to your community and be a part of something bigger than yourself.
Working as a MillbrookEngage summer intern requires that all of Millbrook's core values, respect, integrity, stewardship, service, and curiosity, are practiced every day. What really drove my desire to work at the Carey Institute was my passion for science, biology, research, and the natural world, and my desire to understand the complex ecosystems that exist within them. Working in an ecological laboratory is an opportunity that not many high school students get, especially not to be paid for. I was ready to embark on the journey of becoming a real scientist and showing the world the power of teenagers when given the opportunity.
We were all asked to record our experiences both during and after our internships, and this made me realize that through this program I was able to experience the hospital environment and to get a peek at how my life could look like in the future, but I was also able to give back to my community through my service, which is one of the core values here at Millbrook.
So thinking about my experience, I realized that I wanted to combine my love for farming and being out in nature while also bringing my new interest in politics of food justice. With that, I was able to ensure that everyone has the opportunity to obtain locally sourced food. And through this internship, I realized that it's what I want to study in college. So changing gears, this fall the MillbrookEngage team got together and discussed how useful a Q&A would have been for us last year. So we thought we'd kick it off by asking some questions that you guys might be thinking now. So first we're going to talk about how we found our internship. Dorothy?
So I worked at the Nantucket Boys and Girls Club last summer, and this year I decided that I wanted to do something more than just play dodgeball all day. So I sat down with the director and we made a program that let me be with the kids more.
So I've been involved with the zoo since before even being a student at Millbrook, and one of my very good friends, a graduate of 2017, Tiffany Hatfield, did an internship through the MillbrookEngage program, and that interested me a lot. So I talked to the zoo staff and talked to Ms. Vanchek and arranged an internship of my own.
So for me, it was really easy to find my internship because in a long Corey Runquist that had graduated last year had done a similar internship at the Carey Institute. So they were already familiar with the MillbrookEngage program and the Millbrook School. And growing up in the Hudson Valley, I knew I wanted to work to protect it and protect the environment I grew up in. So this was really a perfect match.
So unlike my peers, my internship had not been previously established. And so I knew I wanted to do an internship tied to medicine and science because that's my passion. And so I worked with Miss Vanacek and my mom, who is also a part of the medical field as a physician assistant. And we researched hospitals in my area, and that's where we found St. Peter's University Hospital.
For me, with the help of Ms. Vanacek, I was able to find the Poughkeepsie Farm Project online and through family relations. This allowed me to find a place that worked well for me and some place that I was very comfortable being. There are a lot of things that we learned before our prospective internships. For example, we were required for creating a cover letter, a resume, and also a LinkedIn profile. For Helen, Andrew, and I, we also had to go to our prospective internships or talk to our mentors to have an interview.
Yeah, so in my case, since Millbrook is such a great distance from New Jersey, which is where my internship was placed, I had to set up a phone interview with my mentor. And so it was basically a conversation, and we talked about my passions and my interests and what I hope to gain from this internship. And she essentially hired me on the spot. And so, yeah. So this was a great way for me to learn about different aspects of the job process.
For me, mine was less of an interview and more of just a series of meetings leading up to the start of my internship. So in these meetings, I met with my doctor who proposed a whole bunch of different ideas for research for me, and we decided to study zebra mussels. And from there, we created an experiment that would be feasible with the materials we had and the timeline.
And for me, I also had to do a day-long interview where I met my mentors, and I also learned more about the process that would help me throughout my summer-long internship. Now we would like to take any questions from the audience.
For Helen, what experience during your internship impacted you the most?
Okay, so she asked what experience during my internship impacted me the most. And so during my internship at the hospital, I worked in many units. And the unit that interested me or impacted me the most was the NICU, which is the neonatal intensive care unit. And so I was being trained to be a cuddler for the newborns. And this just goes to show that not only was I able to learn materials hands-on, but I was able to work alongside professionals in the field. So, yeah.
Emily?
So last year, Corey Runquist did a similar summer internship and then continued it with his on-campus study. And I was wondering if you were planning on doing the same.
In short, no. I'm going to be using my independent research to focus on some of my other passions. But I think that's one of the great things about this program. It really throws you right into an example of one of your aspirations for your future. And while I was able to find a lot of fulfillment in the data sets I was able to collect with the zebra mussels, it taught me that I definitely want to work with larger species when I get older. But hopefully my independent research will provide an outlet for me to explore other passions that I have.
Viv?
Well, I know, Mac, you are a zoo curator in our school and pretty familiar with the zoo, but was there something that really surprised you during your internship last summer?
Yeah, the thing that surprised me about my internship, and I said it in the video as well, is how much I enjoyed engaging with the public. Part of my internship was giving keeper talks roughly every half hour about the animals that I was feeding. And I really enjoyed answering their questions and kind of just informing them about the school, the zoo, what I do at the zoo, and zoos as a whole, as well as the endangered species that zoos work to help.
Carolyn?
So Claire, you said you wanted to work with food justice when you're older. How did food justice come into focus for you while working at the Poughkeepsie Farm Project?
So for me, when food justice really came into focus at the Poughkeepsie Farm Project, it was when every single week I was able to work with community members and learn about how being able to obtain locally sourced food is life-changing for them and their kids, and how so many people need that education. So, Charlotte?
What were the biggest challenges for each of you guys, and how did you overcome them?
I can start. Mine's really basic, just getting used to the everyday long hours kind of thing. It's quite different than being a curator. Getting to the zoo at 8:30, leaving at 4:30, when the Keeper Talks were implemented into my internship, doing a very scheduled thing, but I still needed to get used to spending that much time in a workspace because it's a lot different.
For me, the biggest challenge was the independence that my internship provided. I've never really worked in a laboratory before, especially not a professional laboratory like the Carey Institute. So my doctor really pushed me to work by myself, and of course I could reference any of the scientists that worked there, but anytime I would fail and go to him for help, he would say, try it again and then come back to me.
For me, I think that the first 2 weeks of my internship, I wasn't really mentally or physically prepared for the hands-on work that I had to partake in. Every single day I would go drive to Vassar and I would be on my hands and knees, and when I got back home I was passed out. Like, it was really hard. So I think that was definitely the hardest thing that I had to mentally get through.
Okay. I guess for me, I would say time was a setback. Since it was such a big hospital, I wasn't able to fully get a full experience of all the units. But if I had more time, I would have been able to.
And then for me, it was probably trying to break the barrier that the kids would put up, since they have trust issues with some people.
Any other questions?
Ellen?
I have a question for Dorothy. I was wondering if your internship was what you expected when you were going in.
I would say no, it wasn't, because I didn't expect the kids to trust me as much as they did, and for kids as young as 6 years old to go through what they've been through to be where they are now.
Any others?
How long was each of you guys' internship?
For me, mine was 7 weeks.
Mine was 6 weeks.
Mine was 8 weeks.
Mine was 8 weeks as well.
Mine was 10 weeks. It wasn't enough time though.
Yeah, Tommy.
So, I don't feel like that's pretty long, I believe. But if you were given more time, do you think that you will learn more from this internship? What else can you get? Or do you hope to get?
If I had more time on my internship, I would definitely wish I could have worked with the school systems that I know the farm does throughout the year. And I also just loved being on the field and working and harvesting, planting, seeding, so I definitely wish I was able to do that more.
I probably want to figure out a way to do more with the kids.
During my internship, the 8 weeks, I was talking about the Keeper Talks. At the beginning, I kind of had a script, but eventually, as my internship went on, by the end of the 8 weeks, it was kind of my own. I was giving facts about individual animals and showing their personalities to the audience or visitors that were there. So I think that 8 weeks was a pretty good time period to let that develop.
For me, if I had some more time at my internship, I would have loved to have learned how to use a lot more of the equipment. I would come in every day and I would be put on a new machine that was specifically for a job, and some of them were so specific that I had to go in chambers and they had to be perfectly leveled, so that took a lot of time. But I would have also liked to do some more field work, because at the Carey Institute I was able to send out divers to go collect my zebra mussels, but I think it would have been cool to be able to go out with them and experience their time on the Hudson.
I would have liked to work more with different units and get a more well-rounded experience. Yeah.
Any final questions?
Could you, I think you mentioned that this program is sort of helping you think about what you want to do when you get to college. You're all sixth formers.
Mm-hmm.
Is that true for the rest of you? I mean, you've got to start looking ahead, obviously. So do you think in some way the internship program, directly or indirectly, is going to have a bearing on what you pursue major-wise in college, or, just looking beyond the school this year?
Yeah.
You seem to think that it was.
Yeah. I definitely as I'm looking through colleges and I'm looking to apply to many colleges and visiting colleges, I realize that if I like more rural areas, and I really would enjoy being on a college campus where there's a garden or a farm that I can partake in.
Well, I want to be a teacher when I'm older, so it definitely helped give me exposure to working with little kids.
As I said, I've always wanted to do stuff with animals, and now that I've always wanted to have some sort of aspect of that when I go to college. So after the internship, or even during the internship, I was definitely looking at colleges further that had opportunities for me to work with animals while on campus.
For me, my internship definitely solidified the fact that I want to do some sort of research when I get older. So now whenever I look at a college, the opportunity to do research as a freshman is something that I always look at. It also taught me that I'd like to, as I said before, I found fulfillment in finding the interesting data sets I was able to collect with the zebra mussels. But I would like to work with some larger species, hopefully, when I get older. Yeah.
Yeah, and as I said before, I'm very passionate about math and science and medicine, and so this was a great way for me to experience the hospital environment and to get a peek at what my future would look like.
If you think you might be interested in applying for Millbrook Summer Engage internship, come see any one of us. Millbrook Engage will make a difference in your life and at the same time the nonprofit. Thank you so much everyone for listening and about the Millbrook Engage program that's meant so much to the five of us.